In 2025, Hyundai, Kia, Samsung, and LG are about to unleash an entirely new generation of EV technology. Faster than Tesla, more efficient than BYD, and packed with features we've only seen in science fiction. This isn't just another electric car. It's the future, and it's South Korean. But here's the part nobody is ready for. South Korea isn't stopping at cars. They're turning electric mobility into a complete ecosystem. Hyundai isn't just making EVs. They're building flying taxis with Uber, autonomous delivery pods through their subsidiary Motional, and even hydrogen-powered trucks that can refuel in under 10 minutes. LG and Samsung are working on next-generation vehicle cockpits with seamless augmented reality windshields that replace traditional dashboards entirely. Instead of staring at screens, you'll see navigation projected onto the road itself, collision alerts glowing around real objects, and even real-time fuel economy data hovering in your field of vision. The car won't just be a vehicle. It'll be a living, intelligent assistant, monitoring your health, managing your schedule, and syncing with your smart city surroundings. And while most countries are struggling to build basic charging infrastructure, South Korea is preparing for full nationwide electrification. They're integrating bidirectional charging, allowing cars to act as mobile power plants, selling electricity back to grid during peak hours. Imagine going to sleep, waking up, and discovering your car made money while parked. In disaster scenarios, like South Korea's frequent typhoons, entire neighborhoods could stay power for days using EV-to-home technology, turning every citizen into a micro-energy provider. This is more than convenience. This is energy independence at a national scale. Meanwhile, Tesla remains laser-focused on global expansion, but South Korea is building resilience. They're securing raw material independence by sourcing nickel from Indonesia, copper from Chile, and building recycling facilities capable of recovering 95% of critical minerals from old batteries. While others rely on mining, Korea is preparing for closed-loop sustainability, where every old EV becomes the raw material for the next one. It's not just smarter. It's inevitable. But here's the twist. South Korea isn't even trying to beat Tesla in America. They're trying to replace Tesla globally without a fight. Their strategy is elegant. Instead of flashy marketing battles, they're quietly partnering with ride-share companies, taxi fleets, logistics operators, and government agencies. In cities like Singapore, Dubai, and even parts of Europe, Hyundai's autonomous ionic taxis are already doing real-world testing. By the time the average consumer realizes what's happening, South Korean mobility will already be everywhere. So the real question isn't whether South Korea can beat Tesla. The real question is, will anyone even notice when Tesla becomes second place? Because revolutions don't always start with explosions. Sometimes they happen silently, factory by factory, algorithm by algorithm, battery by battery, until one day you look around and realize the future arrived, and it wasn't the one you expected. And as South Korea's quiet dominance spreads, the geopolitical balance of the automotive world begins to tilt in unexpected ways. Nations that once depended on foreign oil now find themselves negotiating not with energy giants, but with battery suppliers and AI infrastructure providers. Governments in Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and Africa, once courted by American automakers and German luxury brands, are now shaking hands with Hyundai executives and LG Energy diplomats, securing contracts not just for vehicles, but for entire national mobility systems. These aren't simple sales, they're strategic alliances. South Korea isn't offering cars. They're offering future-proof transportation grids, predictive maintenance networks, and real-time fleet optimization powered by AI. They're saying, don't just buy a vehicle, plug into a smarter civilization. And the world is listening. In countries where unreliable electricity has always been a barrier to EV adoption, South Korea introduces solar roof EVs, portable charging containers, and microgrid-ready designs that can run off anything, from rooftop panels to village-scale wind turbines. In regions where highways are scarce and infrastructure is fragile, Korean automakers pitch modular swap station systems, allowing entire taxis or delivery fleets to swap batteries in under 60 seconds, bypassing the need for conventional charging altogether. Suddenly, even nations previously excluded from the EV revolution find themselves leapfrogging straight into high-efficiency transport networks. skipping the fossil fuel phase entirely, just as they once skipped landline phones and went straight to smartphones. And with every country that joins this movement, the pressure mounts on legacy automakers. German brands cling to prestige. American automakers cling to nostalgia. Chinese competitors cling to price wars. But South Korea? They cling to innovation layered on innovation, delivering vehicles that drive smarter, last longer, repair themselves, and communicate like living organisms inside a digital ecosystem. Their cars don't just move, they adapt. When driving styles shift, they evolve. When road patterns change, they remap autonomously. When local regulations update, the vehicles adjust their parameters over the air without anyone lifting a finger. It's not just transportation. It's machine intelligence woven into the rhythm of everyday life. And somewhere in Silicon Valley boardrooms and German engineering labs, there's a quiet moment of realization. This is no longer a competition of horsepower and design. It's a competition of national operating systems. Whoever builds the most intelligent mobility network, not just the best car, will control the future of transport. And right now, South Korea isn't just participating in that race. They're rewriting the rules, laying digital railways beneath every road, turning every EV into a node of a superorganism. And as this realization spreads across boardrooms in Palo Alto and Stuttgart, it forces a deeper question. What happens when Tesla, once a symbol of disruption, suddenly becomes the one being disrupted? Elon Musk, a master strategist in chaos, surely understands the gravity of what's unfolding. He knows that battery range and acceleration times are no longer enough. South Korea is competing on systems, not specs. Musk can build the fastest car in the world, but can he build an entire nationwide autonomous fleet synchronized to a government-level AI grid? Can Tesla construct smart highways that charge vehicles in motion or deploy AI traffic harmonization protocols coordinated between streets, cars, and city infrastructure? Tesla's vehicles are intelligent, but South Korea's mobility vision is hive intelligent. It's not about one vehicle. It's about every vehicle moving as one. If Musk responds, it won't be with silence. He may push forward with Tesla Network, his long-promised idea of autonomous robotic taxis, turning every Tesla owner into a fleet manager. But South Korea is already testing that at scale. Hyundai's partnership with Aptiv through their joint venture Motional is already operating driverless taxis on real streets in Las Vegas and Seoul, collecting live human behavioral data that no simulation can match. Tesla's autopilot learns one car at a time. Korea's system learns fleets in synchronized swarms. The gap isn't just technical, it's philosophical. Tesla believes in individual upgrades. Korea believes in collective intelligence. And yet, this rivalry might not end in destruction. It could evolve into collaboration. Because while rivalry drives innovation, mutual dependence builds empires. Tesla still commands brand loyalty, supercharger dominance, and cult-like global recognition. Korean automakers command industrial discipline, battery supremacy, and government-backed scale. Imagine, for a moment, a world where Tesla's software genius merges with South Korea's hardware and infrastructure precision. A Tesla powered by Samsung solid-state cells. A Hyundai Ioniq running on Tesla's FSD autonomous stack. A shared EV standard uniting America's charisma with Asia's engineering might. But that dream is fragile, because history rarely favors peace between technological superpowers. The more South Korea advances, the more Tesla will be forced to choose. Compete, collaborate, or pivot entirely. Musk could double down on space-based transportation, divert focus to Neuralink-powered driving, or even pivot Tesla into energy storage dominance, leaving traditional cars behind. But one thing is certain. If he hesitates, South Korea won't wait. Their factories will keep scaling. Their cities will keep upgrading. Their autonomous fleets will keep rolling. And while the world debates who leads today's EV race, South Korea is engineering tomorrow's landscape, where roads breathe with energy, vehicles think like organisms, and transportation is no longer owned. It's orchestrated. Because at some point, we stop calling them cars altogether. When mobility becomes self-aware, self-powered, and self-coordinated, it no longer fits the definition of a traditional vehicle. It begins to resemble circulatory systems within a living organism, where data flows like oxygen, Vehicles act like blood cells, and the roads themselves behave like dynamic arteries, dilating or contracting based on traffic pressure. In South Korea's most advanced pilot programs, this isn't theory anymore. Traffic lights no longer operate on timers, but instead respond in real time to approaching vehicle density, optimizing flow the way neurons synchronize inside a brain. Even weather conditions like heavy rain trigger automatic adjustments in braking sensitivity and route prioritization, shared across every connected car simultaneously. It's not just smart transportation, it's responsive urban biology. As more regions adopt this system, citizens slowly begin to lose a concept once taken for granted: driving. Children born into the 2030s may never sit behind a steering wheel. They won't associate travel with stress, road rage, gas stations, or even parking. Vehicles will pick them up automatically, communicate their arrival via holographic door alerts, and glide silently through cities where noise, pollution, emissions, and congestion have vanished. Insurance companies collapse because accidents virtually disappear. Governments repurpose millions of square feet of parking lots into parks, housing, and vertical farms. Entire economies previously tied to combustion engines, from oil refineries to exhaust manufacturers, fade into history as quickly as flip phones did after the first iPhone. And while some fight to cling to nostalgia, most will quietly accept one truth: being driven is better than driving. And here's the most astonishing part. South Korea is building all the pieces at once. Not just the vehicles, not just the batteries, but the roads, the networks, the laws, the AI, the cultural mindset. They're compressing what took America a century into a single decade, executing it with the precision of a semiconductor upgrade. While other nations debate ethics and policy, Korea has already drafted mobility legislation, emergency override protocols, cybersecurity standards, and ethical AI driving frameworks. They are not waiting for the future. They are engineering the conditions under which the future must exist. And when that structure is complete, the rest of the world will face a difficult choice: adapt to South Korea's operating system, or be left idling in the past. And when the dust settles, when combustion engines sit silent in museums and fuel pumps become relics of a smokier age, history won't remember this revolution as a moment of sudden chaos. It will see it for what it truly was: a deliberate repositioning of humanity around a new axis of mobility. The age of horsepower yielded to the age of kilowatts, and then, seamlessly, to the age of cognition. Cars stopped being possessions. Roads stopped being boundaries. Travel stopped being a choice and became a rhythm, an invisible current flowing beneath everyday life. And in that world, people look back and ask, when did everything change? Some will say it was when Tesla sold its first roadster. Others will point to China's $5,000 EV explosion. But those who studied carefully will know the tipping point came when South Korea stopped competing and started orchestrating. When they didn't just build better cars, but build a living transportation organism that no single company could match. In that moment, victory didn't roar like an engine. It hummed like electricity beneath the pavement. So yes, Tesla may have ignited the spark, but South Korea built the power grid. And in 2025 and beyond, the roads will run to their rhythm. Tech, where innovation meets the road. The future of mobility starts here, only on Tech. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating stories about Elon Musk, Maxwell, Tesla, and the future of innovation. Until next time, keep imagining the impossible